Hey guys, if you can hear me, I'm getting started. I've started the feed. I'm just want to make sure that everything on my back end is going. So as soon as you guys see the feed, as soon as you guys hear my voice, if someone could just let me know in the comments, that would be awesome. Just want to make sure everything on my end is working before we get started. Hey guys, if you can hear me, I'm getting started. Oh, I can hear myself. Okay, good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Okay, so I can go ahead and take this off. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's free live planning workshop. It is I, your host, Alexis, Miss Trenchcoat all across the internet. How are you guys doing? I am coming live at you from my beautiful home office in Eastern Pennsylvania. I would love to be able to say hello to each and every one of you guys who are here. There are so many of you who were waiting for this. I'm like really excited and taken aback and a little bit overwhelmed, but I think we're going to have a great class today. So make sure you go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, share it out to people, tweet it, put it on Instagram. So one of the things I love what we do is when we do like one of those, like a screenshot, like do a screenshot and put it on Instagram or Instagram stories, let people know about this. Because this is definitely going to be a very value-packed class, okay? So, yeah, let me go ahead and do some shout outs before we start because I always love doing that. And there's so many comments. I'm so excited. Hello, Daria from Argentina. Hello, Suki from Washington. We've got Renee from California. Um, Beth from Illinois. Angela from MO is Missouri, right? You guys, I swear, I know the states of the union. Glory from Pennsylvania. Hello, Glory. Over in my neck of the woods, we have Fleur. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Elwyn, welcome from Australia. She says, "Oh my goodness, it's early." Yeah, I know, you guys. Well, it's not early for me. Technically, it's 2 p.m. on the East Coast. But yeah, when I do these live events, live classes, I really try to like take into account where everyone is at. And I know I have a lot of people in my audience who are from Australia, so I do try to make these like later in the day for me, in the afternoon instead of early morning, because I know that's better for Australia. I know it's early for you. I gotta think about my global audience here to make sure everyone, has a chance to join, right? And that's not like super early for the West Coast or anything like that too. So awesome, awesome. Welcome, Sam. Hey, Sam, how are you? One of my OGs. We have Tess here from Morgantown, West Virginia. Welcome. We've got EW from Central New York. Erica, Nikita from India. Welcome, welcome, welcome. See, we've got like a whole global family here today, you guys. Hello, Missy, Sandra, Shalise, Jamie, Nada from Egypt. Oh my God, I love Egypt. I studied Egyptology in college. If you guys didn't know, I can like read hieroglyphics to some extent. Fun fact about Alexis, Mr. Trenchcoat. Hello, Rita. Tara from Virginia. I used to live in Virginia, went to school at James Madison University. Stephanie, welcome. Sandra, Wanda, RL, Glory. Did I already say yes? I already saw hello, Glory. Autism Mom, how are you? Welcome. I recognize you from Instagram. Vanessa, Rita, Fedora, welcome. Connie, Cecilia. Am I duplicating Edie? I know Edie from Maryland. How are you? Maria. And Samoylov, my best business bestie. How are you? Let's see. Okay, I just don't want to miss anyone. Someone from Michigan. Why can I not read that? Ian to addicted. Someone's addicted to something. Happy belated birthday to me. Thank you very much. Happy belated birthday to you and all of you, whatever your birthdays were. Mike and Amy, hello from Ontario. Marcy from Houston. Candace from North Carolina. Jasmine from Arkansas. Katja from Germany. Joanne. Maria, I already said hello to you from Mexico. Excellent, excellent. Allie from Buenos Aires, Elizabeth from Kentucky. You guys, there's so many people on today. I'm like blown away. Please, if you guys are here, one of the OGs who are, early, give this video a thumbs up. Please do. I know there are more of you here than just the 22 who've given this a thumbs up. Okay, I want to say hello to each and every one of you guys, but I also don't want this intro to be ridiculously long. So I am going to stop for now, but you guys, we're going to have plenty of time to oh my God, I'm just like scrolling through and there's so many more comments. You guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope we have like a great time today. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to have lots of time to talk. Let's go ahead and jump in because I have no clue how long this class is going to be. You guys know, like I always like in my head think it'll just be an hour, hour and a half. And then 3 hours later, we're still here talking, right? This is just me, right? From New Jersey. I talk with my hands. I'm Italian. I'm Arabic. I'm a little bit crazy sometimes. I'm really on one today because I've already had a double espresso and I'm on a second one. Okay. So I'm really sorry if I'm a little bit more high energy than normal. I hope you guys all have a drink. I have a coffee and I got an ice water. So take a sip of water. Make sure to breathe. I want to welcome everyone. Let me try to calm myself down. I'm just so excited. There's so many of you. Okay. So welcome to today's live plan with me class. Okay. And the topic of today's class is going to be business planning. My business planning process. Now, does that mean if you do not run a business that you cannot be here? Absolutely not. I am very much a believer that even if you don't run a business, even if this topic specifically doesn't affect you, number one, this is just a great opportunity for all of us all to like hang out on a Saturday afternoon when we're all like in our homes, like social distancing or quarantining ourselves because of what's going on in the world right now with the coronavirus, COVID-19. So the first thing I actually want to say before we get in is, I try not to read the news. I've been trying to just focus more on like interesting articles, things that I think are important. So the first thing that I want to say is I kind of want to take a moment to dedicate this live stream for a moment to all of the people out there, and maybe I'm hoping that there's some of them are you right now watching this, but everyone out there in the world right now, no matter what country you live in, if you are one of the essential personnel, one of the essential workers who is helping to keep the world moving right now in this very complicated and uncertain time, I really want to take a moment to acknowledge you and thank you so much for your work. There are so many people out there who are not in the position that I'm in. You guys know that if you saw my video last week, nothing has really changed for me. I still am at home. I've always been at home. I'm a homebody. On a good week, maybe I leave the house once. So right now, like not having left the house in 2 weeks is fine. That's not that weird for me. And it's not that complicated. And I have very minimal responsibilities in my life outside of my business, which is primarily run on the internet. I really feel very blessed and in a really amazing position that I know not everyone is in. And I really just have been reading so many articles and just seeing so many amazing news stories about the people who are in the front lines, who are medical personnel, like people who are going in and really facing this risk like head on, day in and day out. But not just medical personnel. There are also people who are, have to work in grocery stores, people who are, working in transportation, construction, all different things. I actually had to have someone come out to my house because I had some siding falling out the other day. There's so many people who are still helping the world to work right now. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you and that I appreciate you. And hopefully everyone here sends their love and best wishes for you to stay safe and healthy in this time. And of course, I also send my best wishes for you and your family too, everyone watching this, for you to have just a really healthy and safe time while we're going through this. And hopefully today we'll have a moment to really like take a step back and like focus on our plans and kind of have a little bit of together time in a time where we've been a little bit isolated, okay? So that's the first thing that I wanted to say. Now, the second thing that I wanted to do before we jump into the actual content of the class is that I really wanted to take a moment for us to like chill out. I know right now I need this, right? Because I'm on a caffeine induced high right now. I want to take a moment for us to sit and set a little bit of an intention for today's class. I think that setting intentions is very important in general, right? But especially when you're sitting down somewhere to like hopefully get some knowledge or clarity or information, I think it's great for us to be really clear on what we're doing. So I'm going to try to take it down from like where was I, like a 10, right? Let's try to bring it down to at least a 6, Alexis. Maybe if we can get under 5, that would be good. I want to take a minute to lead you guys in just a quick little guided intention setting, a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of setting our focus here, okay? So I'm going to ask you guys, wherever you are, hopefully you're sitting. I'm sitting up in my chair right now. I want you guys to do what I'm doing, right? Kind of like guiding you guys through this. I want you to sit however you are. Hands, palm up. Shoulders squared back. I want you to open your chest up, right? Really push those shoulders back. Head straight up. I want you to take in a few deep breaths, right? Deep intentional breaths through the nose, nice and deep. When you get to the top of that breath, I want you to hold it for 1, 2, 3, and then release through your mouth. My energy is already starting to shift. Let's do that a few more times, okay? Breathe in through the nose. Hold it at the top. And release. One more time. Breathe in through the nose. Hold. 2, 3. Exhale through the mouth. Okay. If you want to continue that deep breathing pattern right now, as I set a little bit of a intention for today's workshop together. Okay. So from my end and my purposes in creating and sharing this event today really was to bring you a sense of clarity and purpose in this uncertain time. My intention for today's class is that we are going to take a little bit of quiet, maybe fun time to plan a bit together today. And I hope that this will help us to see the areas of our lives where we have control and we have a bit of peace and a plan that can help us to remove any obstacles that are in our way and to help us move in the direction of our vision and goals. So that is what I wish for you. That's my prayer. That is my intention for you, each and every one of you who are with me today. Deep breath. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the workshop. Okay, so I do have slides, and I'm going to go ahead and pop into my slides right now. And hopefully, let's see. Oh, yeah, this one. Let me go ahead and close out of this, pop this open. I'm going to go into a full screen share, but hopefully you'll still be able to see me once I go into this. Excellent. You guys should be able to see me. Can I minimize this? No, I can't. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me get out for 1 second, Rooney. I need to close these extra scenes out so it makes it easier for me to see everything. Oh, you know what? One more thing I should, oh, no, I'm going to leave the comments open. Let me see if I can shrink it a little bit. I just have to shrink these boxes on my screen to kind of make sure I can see my actual class notes and stuff like that. I do have notes in front of me too, though. Okay. So welcome to our free live planning workshop today. Okay, so what you are going to learn in today's class. So you're going to learn in today's class my complete business planning process. So today's workshop is one part information to help you improve your business planning and your business planning strategy. And it's one part activity to help inspire and motivate you. So I do have some activities for you to do as we're going along. A lot of this really is going to be information and process based. Although, like I said before, although today's topic is business planning, even if you're not a business person, you are still welcome here. You are still in the right place today. If you just want to sit and listen and get inspired, I think a lot of people get inspired by business planning, topics, even if they don't run a business. There's a lot of things that I might talk about that might be applicable to you in your life, just some concepts that you might just want to be aware of. And if not, if you're like totally not interested in business planning, you can just sit down and chill and just pull your planner out and do some planning of your own. And we can still talk and chat and all that, at the end, right? Now, I want to be completely transparent with you guys. Another part of what we're going to be talking about today is a new product that I just launched called the CEO Strategy Planner. Now, I've basically created the ultimate business planning tool for creative entrepreneurs, and it follows this proprietary process that I'm going to teach you guys today. So yes, part of this workshop is going to be me showing you something awesome and valuable that you might consider buying. That'll be at the end, but there's no pressure to buy, and you will still get tons of value out of this content if you keep an open mind. So I just want to let you guys know, we're going to talk about something that's for sale. You don't have to buy it. As per the usual, I just want to give you guys some great value and information, and if it's right for you, it's right for you. You can decide that at the end. Okay, so here's some things that you should also know before we get started, okay? This isn't a process that you're really gonna learn anywhere else, okay? So trust me, I've been looking and searching for a complete business planning process like this for creative entrepreneurs, and I've been failing to find one that was the right motivation for me, and that was the motivation for me in creating this product and outlining this process for you to begin with, right? And I want you to know what I consider to be a good business planning formula. I think a good business planning formula is one part knowing where you want to go with your business, one part mapping out the actual plan, one part organizing the work to make it all more efficient so that you're actually executing efficiently and saving time and being productive. And then it's one part tracking so you actually know if what you're doing, if that plan that you outlined is actually moving you in the right direction. Some other things I think are really important to know right now. There's no right or wrong time to start planning for your business. I realize that right now it is the end of March and we're about to step into April, which is like traditionally like Q2 for businesses. And, some people might be like, wow, you're late. You should have done this in January. You should have done this in, maybe quarter 4 of last year, right? Okay, but you know what? All of this is happening in perfect time, and there's no right or wrong place to start planning for your business. So I want you guys to consider we're starting right now. If you don't have a business plan, we're starting right now. If you do have a business plan and you're going to learn some things from this process, you're going to start right now integrating those things, right? We're going to start where we are. There's no right or wrong time to get started with all of this, okay? Next thing that you should know is that businesses with a plan achieve better results with less effort. I think I found like a stat that was something like 60% better results if you actually do business planning. So businesses who actually pre-plan, what they're going to do are earning more and they are able to reach more people. They're able to have a greater effect by making a little bit of a plan. And we understand why. You know what I mean? I think we understand reasonably why this is, right? Business planning in general helps you to feel more in control, more motivated, and it can show you that your effort every day really does matter. I think that a lot of people struggle with motivation with their business. This is something that I get asked about a lot. And if you're struggling to do the work for your business, I think that one of the major reasons may be because you feel like your effort isn't paying off, right? Does that resonate with any of you guys? Let me know in the chat. But so many of us, like, of course, you don't feel motivated to get up every day and do your work if you feel like what you're doing isn't actually paying off, right? But once you have a process in mind, once you have a plan that's solid and works, it makes it much more motivating for you. Like it's a built-in inspiration for you to get up every day and do your work. And that's kind of the mindset that I start my day with is that, okay, I know that I have some things I have to do today. And when I do those things, my business, my results are going to come. It's like faith in the process and understanding that, my time and effort really is worth something. But if you don't have that, if you don't have that plan, it's really easy to get down. It's really easy to be motivated. It's really easy to lose focus and kind of, just blow things up, right, for your business, unfortunately. Now, so if you want to have more revenue for your business, less stress, right, and more time to devote to that special project that you've been putting off, right, then I want to tell you guys that you are in the right place. And what I mean by that, like, special project is I feel like in each of our lives, there's like that thing, that special project, right, that we are either in our lives or in our business, we're putting off for the quote unquote right time. We're putting off until we have more time to work on this project, right? It's like something I'll do when I have more time. Well, you know what? Good news for you that when you do this business planning process, you are going to soon see that you do have more time to take on those things that you have been avoiding because you just didn't feel like you had the time. Okay. So first thing I want to talk about today is kind of like the theme for this entire process, CEO, okay? And specifically what it means to be the CEO of your business. So the CEO for a business is the person who sets the vision for the business, right? They set the targets and objectives for where the business is going to go, and they oversee the plan and they make sure that the plan is on track. But most creative entrepreneurs and small business owners aren't fulfilling this role to the detriment of their businesses, okay? Because we wear a lot of hats as small business owners, as creative entrepreneurs. And I feel like for a lot of us, the last hat that we reach for is that CEO hat, right? I think that most of us, and I'm definitely guilty of this as well, we focus on the day-to-day work. We put on that employee or the worker bee hat. And most of us will focus on the day-to-day to-do list, right? What is the next thing that's coming our way? What's the next email, the next post, the next call, the next order I have to fulfill? But the truth is, we know this from productivity research, only 20% of what we do creates 80% of our results. That's the Pareto principle. I've talked about this before, right? But for each of us, those activities, those 20% of activities are going to be different for each one of our businesses, right? But instead, we've got this hat on that's saying like, I have to work, I have to get things done. I'm worried about this next thing, that next thing. When really, 80% of the things that we're doing aren't really leading to our results. It's only that small 20%. So for me, I think that the importance of business planning is to get the best results with the least amount of effort. We must create a plan. We must stick to the plan. We have to track to make sure our actions are worth our time so that we're identifying what those 20% actions are, right? Those 20% that gives us 80% of our results. We want to identify those so we do more of those and spend our time more on those than anything else. And of course, we need to have a process to follow that keeps our plans easy to make and easy to follow, right? So for me, I know I struggled for a long time defining my business plans because it was like, well, I need something, I need a system that's number one, easy for me to follow. Like I can just do the same thing over and over and over again, and this is my plan, right? And it needs to be easy to execute as well, right? So you want the plans to not only be easy to make, but you want them to be easy to actually execute on so that you actually do the work more often than not. And of course, we need to have the right tools for our needs with our business planning, right? Without the right tools, the process, is more or less useless. It's great to have tools. They help us, they make it easier, they simplify things for us, they streamline things for us. Tools, so important. So quickly, I want to share with you guys what my business planning tools are. So, what I use, my 2020 master planner, should not be news to anybody. I've actually got it sitting right here, and I'm going to pull it out to do some activities in shortly when we get to that portion. But yeah, I have my 2020 master planner inserts in here, and I also have now my new CEO strategy planner. Guess where that is? Also in here, you guys, right? It's all in one book. So these are the dedicated business planning inserts that are going to follow this process that I'm going to teach you guys today. I also like to use Apple Calendar. Yes, I integrate digital planning because unfortunately, as beautiful as my Chanel agenda is, it does not have an alerts function, right? It doesn't tell me when I've got a due date coming up. It doesn't tell me, when it doesn't make noise and say, hey, Alexis, don't forget this, right? So I do use my Apple Calendar. And I also use Apple Notes, right? Because I do have a Mac and I have an iPhone and like iPads and everything. So I'm Apple integrated. And I am a solo entrepreneur, so I don't really use any of the digital tools that are more geared towards teams. And that's just what works for me. And it's very important for you to find what works for you as well. But those are my business planning tools. If you want to say the whole toolbox, that's all that I use to plan and execute for my business. Now, really quickly, let me take a moment to introduce myself in case you don't know who I am. I know that there's so many people here. A lot of you guys know who I am. I think some of you might be new, right? Be new to me. So I want to make sure that, you guys know who I am. So I'm Alexis, right? I'm also known as Miss Trenchcoat all across the internet. I'm a full-time creative entrepreneur. I design and sell productivity and business tools to help other creative women get their ideas out of their head and onto paper so they can get down to business. Some important things you might want to know about me is that I, in 2014, left my stable Fortune 50 career to work full-time for myself. I run a six-figure, mostly passive income business from home or wherever I am at the moment. And I've taught hundreds of women my methods and processes, and I would love to pass on some of my wisdom to you as well. So that is a little bit about me, why you might want to take what I'm saying, as someone who has experience in this arena, okay? So let's go ahead and jump in to the process inside of the CEO Strategy Planner. This is the strategic business planning process and the tools that go along with it, okay? So the first part of this process has to do with creating a creative business plan, right? So there's an idea, when it comes to having a business, online, offline, etc., traditional businesses, non-traditional businesses, we always start with a business plan. But I feel like for people who are creative entrepreneurs, small business owners online, people who are operating online outside of the traditional sort of like brick and mortar system, we have to have a slightly different business plan, okay? And I want to help you guys with that right now, creating your business plan and taking a look at some of the inserts inside of the CEO planner. And I'm actually going to open my planner up and I'm going to go and share some of the information with you. And we're going to go ahead and fill out, some of this information. So the first part of a business plan is usually called an executive summary. Okay. So these are the pieces of information that we're going to go ahead and think about for ourselves right now. Now, if you're someone who already has the CEO strategy planner, hopefully you printed it out and you're going to be able to fill this out with me. If not, feel free to take notes and you can go along with these activities as well. So first thing that's important, business name and tagline, right? What is your business name? What is your tagline? You guys, I go back and forth with my tagline all the time, but this is essential brand information. So what is your business name? What is the tagline? You want to have that like quick sort of elevator pitch. What are your business values, right? So what is the purpose that you have for your business in terms of like what you're trying to create? So for me, just to give you some ideas, right? My values for my business have a lot to do with the idea of me being a solo entrepreneur, someone who has the ability to run a business from anywhere. I am really focused on creating digital tools and things like that that'll create passive income for me, right? That's a value of mine, is I don't want to have to be someone who's got physical products that's sending orders. So, for me, having the value of saying that I really want to have a passive income business means that all my income sources come through passive income means, right? So that I'm not having to fill orders, so I'm not chained to some desk, so that I have ultimate freedom in my life, because freedom is something that I value for myself and my business. Now, for each one of you, this might be different, right? Depending on what you value, what you're trying to create with your business. Some of you may be trying to create like an actual like physical empire where you're going to like, maybe start off with digital, or you have some physical products and you're shipping and you're ordering and you're creating these sorts of fulfillment systems. And maybe you end up, creating, an actual brick or mortar store, or like a chain or a franchise, things like that. Everyone has different values for what they want for their business. Define yours, okay? And then the final part of the creative business plan, the executive summary, is the business manifesto. So this is basically the idea of, what is it that your purpose is in your business? Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? And for me, again, I've through the years changed this manifesto so many times, and I have landed on for myself personally. I already have this filled out, so I'm not really going to be doing this activity with you necessarily right now. But I've decided that, like, for my business, I'm all about teaching women how to manage their time and energy and expectations so that they can manifest their dream life. Right? I'm all about helping women to get their ideas out of their head and onto paper so they can get down to business. And that is my business manifesto, roughly speaking. Right? Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to be succinct to the point. This is kind of the guiding principles of what I'm doing with my business. So if you guys would like to share yours, I would love for you guys to share some examples, but go ahead, write these things down. Think about what these things are for your business. They're so important. Okay, I'm gonna take a little sip. Okay, second part of this creative business plan is your target market information, right? So you would be surprised at the amount of people who don't really, and including myself, I've been there for, don't really have these pieces of information defined, but they are going to go, they're so helpful to have these things like front and center in your business planner so that you understand that everything that you're doing comes back to a specific target market so that all of your marketing efforts are actually working, right? So define, what does your business sell, right? For me, I do digital tools, strategies. I teach people skills, ebooks, courses, inserts, etc. on planning and productivity and business and personal development, right? These are the things that I sell, right? Help you get it out of your head, onto paper, get down to business, right? Always ties back to the manifesto, the values, etc. Who are your customers? Now, I know what you're thinking. Some people are thinking, my customers are everyone. I want everyone to be my potential customers. And that's true. Maybe everyone could use whatever you're selling, your services, whatever you're doing, products or services. And that's great. But unfortunately, when you're doing your marketing, you need to be talking to one specific person. So it's very important for you to have like that idea of who you are talking to in mind. So for me, I'm talking to like women who are in like upper 20s, maybe into their 50s, right? Something like that, like women who are of working age, like career age, right? Who are hopefully business women, right? Running businesses or want to run a business. They're probably high school to college educated for me. They're into spirituality, entrepreneurship. They are thinking about their impact in the world and really trying to manage their time, right? So I have this vision in my head of who my ideal customer is. And you need to identify that as well, because all your marketing needs to talk to that person, right? Not every person, one person, right? And the more you're able to actually streamline who you're talking to, the more effective all of your marketing is actually going to be. Because you don't have to create content for everyone. You only have to create content and marketing for one person. It's actually very easy. And I know you might be thinking, well, if I only talk to one person, aren't I cutting everyone else off? Yes, but not everyone's going to buy from you anyway. Even if theoretically everyone could, not everyone's going to. Okay, very important. Next question you want to ask yourself is, what outcomes do you produce for your customers? Okay, so a lot of times in business, we think of like the before and after of of a customer coming into you. So what is a customer situation before they come to you, and what's the situation after? What is that outcome that you're producing for people, right? So for me, it's all about clarity and objective on people's goals and objectives. It's strategic planning, time management, so they have more time for things that are important to them, so that they're managing their time, energy, and expectations better, right? So the outcome of the woman who comes to me is that they have clarity and inspiration on what they want to do. They've got a clear plan, and they've got strategies to use so that they can execute and minimize all of the obstacles that are standing in their way. Those are the outcomes that I produce for my ideal customer, right? So think about your outcomes that your business produces. Final question is how you market to your customers, right? So what are the marketing strategies that you actually use? There are tons of marketing strategies out there, tons of them, right? And you don't have to use them all. It's probably best if you minimize the amount of marketing strategies you actually use. You could try them out and try different ones out to find out what works for you, of course. But what is the method you have for marketing to your customers? Now, I want to be very clear. Marketing means you tell your customers about your products or services. That's the part of your business that marketing is. So how do you market? So for me, you guys should know, here, look at us, we're marketing right now together, me and you. So I do videos, I do blog content, I talk to people through Instagram, and I send some email marketing things, right? So that's the way that I communicate to my customers what I've got going on, how those things can help them, how I can help them, and give them all information, things like that, right? Okay, so that is the executive summary and the target market. Next, we're going into our business vision or our brand vision. I like to think of the brand as being the vision, right? So that's the next set of worksheets here. This one is super simple, but geez Louise, I was not doing this for a while, you guys, and it really helped me to get really focused on where I'm going with my business just from these really simple questions, right? So first question is, where do you see your business in the next year, right? Where do you want your business to be ideally in the next year? And please don't say that you want to go from like not having a business to being like a multi-million-dollar business. That's probably not realistic, right? We want to be really realistic with these ideas, right? Is it realistic that you could start a business right now and in the next year, like actually replace your income? Yes, absolutely. I did it. I did it in 6 months when I went full-time for my business, right? So that is possible. But you want to have, a clear vision for what you want to have done by the end of the year. So for me, something that was important for me this year was to get on a regular content schedule again. I'd fallen off my regular content schedule. Now I feel like I'm back on the saddle with that one, right? And I want to make sure that I've got all of my my funnels, right? So my passive income funnels are all kind of re-upped, make sure everything is modernized and they're running successfully, right? So one of the things that I sometimes fail to do is I will put systems in place and they might be working, but I don't spend enough time optimizing them. So that's something I really want to do, spend more time optimizing my personal funnels. Now, again, I'm someone who's been in business since, what is this? Are we going 6 years? We're coming up to 6 years, right? 2014 to now it's 2020. That's 6 years, right? I can't count. But I've been doing this for a while. So I may be further along than you in your business, which is fine. And maybe you're further along with me in your business, which is awesome. So where do you see yourself in the next year in your business? Next, where do you see your business in the next 3 years, right? And following that, the next 5 and the next 10 years, right? So I think it's been really helpful for me to see, usually I'm not someone who looks that far ahead, and I'm not going to go ahead and make concrete plans that far ahead. But I do think it's great to have the vision for where your business is going to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So for me personally, 3 years from now, I really want to make sure, what did I write down here? Because I actually have to update these. Some of these aren't filled in. Oh, here we go. In the next 3 years, I would like to start bringing in different opportunities for myself in terms of speaking, right? I'd like to do a little bit more speaking. I'd like to go out there and do a little bit more speaking. Obviously, I want to make sure that my income funnels, right, they're running, but I would like things to be so automated that I could go out and spend time doing things like speaking engagements, get kind of that experience under my belt, right? For 5 years, I'm like, oh, well, I should start doing events or something in the next 5 years. That would make sense, right? Going from speaking to actually doing events and kind of making a bigger impact on a larger scale, right? And in 10 years, maybe I would become like a talking head on TV, like in the media or something like that. That would be awesome, right? To have most of my business be underneath me, having like a team that is managing the day to day. And then I kind of am going out as just like a brand ambassador for the message that I have to spread for the world. I think that sounds like a cool 10-year plan, don't you? So outline for yourself what you want to do in the next 1, 3, 5, 10 years, right? And you want to come back to this like every year and make sure that like you still want the same things and that you're still headed towards those things. But it's great to have that picture, that vision of where you're going to go. Remember, the CEO has the vision for where the business is going to go. Next, we're going to talk about the yearly business planning process, okay? So once you have that vision, right, of what you want to accomplish, we want to set goals for the next year, right? And we want to make them realistic, but it's okay for them to have a little bit of a stretch element to them, right? So like I said before, if you are someone who's just starting their business and you're not making a lot of money and you'd ideally like it to replace your income and be able to be your full-time job in the next year, that is absolutely possible. Go ahead and reach for that. You know what I mean? Like that's something that really is been shown from countless people, not just me. Tons of people have done this with their businesses, right? It's not impossible. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with our income goal. So we're talking about like money and breaking down money and how you actually hit goals. So think about what that full year target is going to be for you, what you want that to be, what it needs to be if, for example, you want to go full time for yourself or you want to replace your income at your 9 to 5 so that you can go full time for yourself. What is that full year target? And then I like to break the target down into quarters. Now, I break it down in quarters for a few reasons. I don't like to use months because I think when it comes to business planning, a lot of the things that we do month to month, right? Sometimes like a month of work isn't enough time for us to actually reach a result. But if you think about a quarter of the time, right? If you spend an entire month creating content for a product and then marketing that product, it's possible that you could in the second or third month start getting those sales and that income that's going to hit your target, right? So I think it's easier to look at your efforts on a quarterly basis. It's kind of one of those things where like the longer period of time, it's kind of a better span for you to kind of like you have more opportunities to hit that target than kind of doing things month by month. A month goes by so quickly, you guys. I mean, a quarter does too, but at least like you could say like I'm putting in these efforts in these months and it'll all pay out by the end of this quarter. Another reason I like to look at quarters is because different quarters of the year, right? You're not just going to take your income target and like divide it by 4 necessarily. You do want to consider the different timing throughout the year for your business, right? So for a lot of businesses, Q4 is a heavier, sales time. That's when they make a bulk of their revenue. I think in the retail, it's like something like 80% of their revenue is made in Q4. So it's, you may want to put a bigger onus at the end of the year, right? To say like, this is where I'm going to make a bigger portion. And here's where I'll make a lesser portion. For the last like 5 or 6 years now running my business, I know that my highest grossing quarter is 4 and 3 and 1. And Q2 tends to be a time that's a little bit more stagnant for me, right? So I know that from my past experience, right? And if you have been running a business for a while, go ahead, look at your financials for the past few years and see what patterns emerge, right? What quarter is the one where you want to put a heavier goal and where do you want to put a lighter goal and maybe work on things that, might be a little bit less marketing heavy, but might be setting you up for success a little bit in the future, right? In a future quarter. Okay. So breaking down our income like that. Then I like to set objectives for each quarter. So things that I actually am going to work on, like these things need to be done in this quarter. Before we get to that though, I want to talk about the objective overview on the right side. So this is the way that I approach my business planning, right? So I have break down all of my business activities into four quadrants basically, right? We've got products, right? Which could be services for you as well. So it's what products or services do you want to create or package or offer? Are there things that you need to upgrade? Are there things that you need to change? What goals do you have for your products in this year? Like where do you want to see your product and service lineup at? Second quadrant is list building, right? Where do you want your list to be at the end of the year, right? What lead magnets do you need to create, right? Where do you need to be putting in your effort to grow your community, right? Because that's what list building is. It really is community building. It's bringing people on to your brand, right? To your your company, to your business, whatever it is you do. It's indoctrinating people into the world of you and your business. Okay, so what are your goals for list building? Marketing, what are your goals or objectives for your marketing, right? So, what campaigns are you going to do? What content do you want to produce? What funnels do you have to have in place to successfully be marketing? Again, there's so many different strategies for marketing, right? Which strategies are you using and which ones do you want to execute on this year? And break those down into objective goals for yourself. And then finally, development. Where do you want to add incremental improvements into your business, right? Do you need to hire some help, right? Do you need employees? Do you need to redo your website, right? Do you need to hire a designer? Do you need to hire a photographer, right? Get some great photography done. Where do you need to be developing your business? And also, I like to think of this as well, yourself. Do you need to develop your own skills, right? To help your business succeed and thrive, right? So once you have all of these sorts of like big picture goals of what you'd like to have done in the year, you can break them down into the quarterly objectives, how they make sense, right? Be strategic about what makes sense, thinking about what quarters of the year are going to be the ones where you're going to be focused on sales, 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 and when can you maybe take a little bit of slower pace and build up some assets for your business, like funnel things, like graphics, like content, etc., to help support those times that you're going to be more focused on sales, right? Think about your business planning for the year that way, an overview. Next, monthly objectives, okay? So this is where we're going to look at month to month and kind of figure out what's going on and kind of map our plan, our strategy for the year, right? So I want you to think about looking forward through your year. Fill in any key objectives in the month that they belonged in. So for example, it's not uncommon, I do this too, November and December, I always have like a holiday sale going on, right? So that might be something that you're going to pencil into November and December, right? Do you have a launch of a product that you'd like to do? When is that going to be? Put that into a month. But then I also want you to think about important information about your personal life as well that might pertain to the individual months, right? So let's say you have a sister, and in June she's getting married, and you are her maid of honor, and you've got a lot of work to do in the next few months getting ready for that wedding, right? You want to write those things in because likely that is going to distract you from whatever your business work is. And maybe that's not the best time to launch a new product, right? Like maybe you don't want to do that during the month your sister's getting married. Could be a little bit stressful for you, right? So we want to look at what's happening in our lives, the timing of the year for us, and really map things out in a way that's strategic, that's very logical, and so that we're not putting too much on our plate at one time, okay? So those are the monthly objectives. Now we're getting to quarterly business planning, okay? This is like what I'm doing right now with you guys as well. Let me go ahead into my planner and pull up actually my quarterly plan. I got my Q2 plan somewhere in here. Where are you, friend? That's Q1. Here we go. April. Okay, Q1, Q2. Okay, so how we start our quarterly planning. Okay, so we're going to start with our income goals, our target income goal. So what was that target income goal you had for the quarter? Now, I like to break down my income goals in a way I've never seen anyone else really do this. So this is, might be new for some of you. Hopefully it makes sense though for as many of you as possible. I like to break down that income goal into individual product or services targets, right? And the reason that I do this is because it seems harder to conceptualize what the effects are, the outcomes of a income goal are when you're not breaking them down into like individual units. For example, I could say that like, okay, let's just say for my quarterly income target for whatever the quarter was, let's say it was $5,000. Okay, let's just say that for now. It's harder for me to say what $5,000 will just look like coming into my business. But what I could say is, okay, I want to make $5,000. What I really want to do is I want to sell 100 planners, right? I want to sell 100 planners. 100 planners is easier for me to conceptualize than just the money itself, right? When we actually take that income goal and break it down into what it looks like to sell individual products or services, for me, in my brain, and hopefully for yours as well, it becomes much easier for me to manage that objective, right? So what I do here on this page is I will take a couple of products that I want to focus on for that quarter, right? So for this quarter that we're moving into April through June, I'm really focused on business planning things. Like I want to be talking about business planning. I want to share content with you guys about business planning. That's like my theme for this quarter. So I'm going to identify the products that I've got that are business related. And those are things that I'm going to set individual targets to, right? So my CEO strategy planner, I've got like a target for the quarter. Maybe my empire building course, I could set a target for DSLR, even the master planner, right? I could be setting targets for what I want to sell in specific numbers. And that way I could break down a larger income target into smaller chunks, right? So let's say like the overall income target was $30,000. Then I could say that I want to sell maybe $5,000 in the CEO strategy planner, which would be, like I said, 5,000 would be 100 planners. I want to sell empire building, like X amount of classes to build up to $10,000, $15,000, right? However much that comes out to for individual units to be sold. How many, courses of DSLR would I sell? How many master planners do I need to sell to get up this target? And then by stacking those targets, right, I come up with my actual quarterly income goal. And then that way, it's not just like money, like abstract idea of money. It's I need to sell 100 planners. I need to sell 100 courses, right? These are my targets, and it's much easier to track, and it's much easier to create content around those sorts of targets than like general marketing, right? Just general like income goals, right? So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. So next, once you have that breakdown, right, what income generation ideas can you come up with? Like, what are all the ways that you could sell all of those products, right? So for me, it's like, okay, with what we're doing right now, I could have a live class, right? Where I walk people through my business planning process and show them my business planner and see if they want to buy it, right? That's an income generating idea that I could be using to hit a target for myself, right? So what sorts of marketing do you need to do? What sort of campaigns? Are you going to create a funnel, like a funnel for a course or a funnel for an offer that you have, right? What are you going to put into place? What are all the ideas? Brains dump them and brainstorm them out so that you are really clear on all the different ways that you're going to try to hit those goals, right? For your income. And then on the right side, just insert on the right side, the actual quarterly plan. This should not be too unfamiliar to those of you who have business planned with me before. This is the basic outline that been using for a while for mapping out my quarter, just like an overview of my quarter. So for each month, we've got a column, and each of the rows there are for the focus of the month, of that month, individual month, so which would be the most important thing or the theme. And another way that I like to think about this is like, if you're going to be talking about one thing in that month, what are you going to be talking about 24/7, right? So for me, for example, for April, it's going to be the CEO strategy planner. I'm going to be talking about it a lot. I'm going to be sharing content about it a lot. That's my focus for April, okay? Marketing. What are the key campaigns or content that you're going to create? We're going to talk about campaigns a little bit later. I'm going to show you like how I put those together. But what are those marketing efforts, right? What do you have to do? What messaging has to go out there in order for you to spread the good news of whatever's going on with your business for that month? And then list building, right? So what are the ways that you're going to try to grow your audience, grow your community, get that list number up, right? So lead magnets that you need to create, networking that you might need to do, right? Reaching out to people, community building activities. What can you be doing to build that community, to grow your list, right? So that you can use that list and leverage that community later on, right? So we're going to break down each of our months into those three overhead. It gives me like a nice, good overhead of like what the most important marketing things are that I'm focused on for each month and for the quarter, okay? Next. Monthly overview. Okay, so we're going to go to my monthly overview too here, and I have to like work on this a little bit too. So the monthly business plan, monthly overview, I think of this as like a monthly marketing calendar in a way. So we're going to go ahead and take the focus that we wrote down in our quarterly plan, and we're going to put it into our monthly plan. So what's that focus for me? It's the CEO strategy planner, right? That's the thing I'm going to be talking about all the time this month. Campaigns. Do I have any campaigns that I need to remember and I'm working on this month? Obviously, yes. The CEO strategy planner, I have a whole campaign for this. I'm going to talk to you guys about this campaign to give you guys a little bit more illustration later, okay? So the campaigns I'm working on. Then I've got a calendar. I'm going to put in the important dates, and I want to mark off and populate the calendar overview for marketing and my task due dates, right? So we're going to be breaking down all of these plans into actual individual action steps. We want to have a nice calendar so we know what's going on in our month, when things are due. You know, I realize this is a small-ish calendar, so you can write things in or I use like highlighters and stuff like that to kind of like mark things off. And then you have an area at the bottom to kind of just like list out what those important things are going to be, like the most important things that you need to make sure that you're not forgetting, right? And then on the right hand side, that's the key tasks. So you're going to populate a list of monthly business tasks broken out by the area of your business for tracking. Now, if you are familiar with Master Planner, you guys know I'm all about that master monthly task list. And this is basically the master monthly task list for your business. And I've got this very helpful, I think this is genius for tracking purposes. The areas of your business. Remember those 4 areas we talked about before: the products, the list building, the marketing, development, and then there's a column for other as well. So literally, for every activity you do, you're going to say what area of your business that it pertains to. So literally at the start of your month, the end of the month, you should be able to look at that list and be like, wow, I spent a good amount of time in my products. I spent a good amount of time doing list building, right? We can only track and understand and analyze the information if we're tracking it, right? So that is what that is all about, making sure that we're balancing, how we're spending our time. And it doesn't mean that you should necessarily make sure that you have the exact same amount of work being done in each category. In fact, there may be some months where you're doing a lot of product stuff, a lot of list building things, a lot of marketing things, etc., right? Or a lot of development, right? Based on the way that your year is going to flow. But it is good to say, wow, I did focus on my development really well. Like I did a lot for my business development, right? Or I did a lot for my list building this month. I had a lot of list building activities, which theoretically should mean that your list building goal is being reached, right? So, and if it's not, you can go back to that list and be like, okay, what were those 80% of tasks that don't matter very much, right? What can I identify as being the problem tasks, and what things did I do that actually move the needle, right? So it makes it easier for you to track that 20%, 80% Pareto principle of your outcomes for your business, okay? That is the monthly business plan. Next, we're going to talk about business objectives, right? So breaking down those objectives into like manageable steps. Now, for this, I have 2 inserts in the CEO Strategy Planner that are for the purposes of helping you outline your objectives. The first one is, I call my workflow, right? This is like the pre-planning of an objective, especially where the process might not be very clear at the outset. I think a lot of people have this problem. They're like, oh, I want to do this with my business, but I don't know how to do it. Like, how would I make a project plan for that? What's the first step? What do I have to do? What's the full process? And I've realized that there are going to be things that you're going to do for your business where you're going to be able to see the full process before you get started and you'll be able to map it out. And then some things you're not. You're just going to have to kind of walk by faith a little bit. And so that's where this workflow idea comes in. It really helps you to create a project plan where it might not be initially easy for you to do that. So what you're going to do with this worksheet is you're first going to identify your objective, right? What is it that we're trying to do or create? What are we trying to do? We're trying to grow our email list, 1,000 subscribers. What are we trying to do? Are we trying to create a video series that, launches a product? What are we trying to do? What is the objective? Now, with everything we're trying to do, right? No matter whether or not we have tons of information about how to do it or not, you always kind of know like 1 or 2 things that you have an idea would be something that would be known steps, known things that you're going to have to do, right? So we're going to focus on first those known steps, right? So what is the first known thing you know you'd have to do in order to reach that objective, right? We're going to write it down. And then for each of those items, we're going to think, okay, what's the prerequisite? Before I can get to this step and do this, what do I have to have done first, right? So that you're building that logical step of events. Then once that thing is done, what's the follow-up? What's the next thing that I do? What's the next logical thing for me to do in the process after I've gotten that known step done, right? So you're actually creating like a workflow for yourself. You're creating the basis of a strategic project plan for yourself by focusing one thing at a time and building up that process for yourself, right? Now, once you have all that done, right? Or if perhaps you didn't even need to do this, like a general project plan for what you're working on, right? You can fill out a project plan, right? A strategic, business plan process for yourself where you're going to define that project parameters, break the project down into phases, right? So a lot of the things that I do work in phases. I don't know about your business, but a lot of times I am. So for example, with the CEO Strategy Planner, like the phases that I had to do, number 1, I had to actually create all the inserts. I had to design all of the inserts. That was a phase of the project. Then I had to like package it and create all the marketing, right? Then I had to actually go through the launch, right? We're doing the launch right now. And then afterwards, I have follow-up steps, right? For how I kind of do ongoing marketing for the CEO strategy planner, right? So what are the phases of your project? What makes sense for you to think about? And what are the key strategic process that you're going to take for that? So what's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4? And for all of those things, you need to know when the due date is, right? When do you need to have the work done, right? Very important for your business planning overall, okay? That is how we do our business objectives. Also in this section, I have some financial planning things that go along with your projects. So a project budget, right? So keeping track of the anticipated and actual expenses of your project. This should be pretty self-explanatory for you guys, but just something that make sure that you're thinking about. You know, if a lot of the things I work on don't actually have a budget necessarily. It's just my work, my time. But sometimes I have to go out and buy materials for things. I have to actually do some expenses. I have to, actually, maybe pay for someone to do some work or something like that for me, right? So we want to keep track of what those when those expenses are, what we think they're going to be, are anticipated, right? And then the actual, right? So we want to create a budget and we want to have what the final number was, right? And we want to be able to keep track of when we acquire all of those things, right? Make sure that we've taken care of all of those things that we think are important for the project to get done. And then we want to make sure we're tracking all of our projects, right? So we want to have that top line view of all of our projects, their budgets, and their final costs. Again, this should be pretty self-explanatory, I think, right? Okay, hopefully. Next, okay, so we've done our annual business planning with the objectives, and then we've done our objectives, right? So then we get to creating our marketing plan. I think this is going to be what a lot of you are going to get a lot of value out of this section as well. So let me take a water real quick. Get the water, you guys take a sip of water, sip of your coffee, tea. Okay, so when it comes to me creating content, right, one of my marketing strategies that I use is content creation. You guys know I create a lot of content. I create videos, I create blog posts, I share on Instagram, I write emails, et cetera, right? All these different forms of content come to my audience to give them information, to attract my audience, to grow my audience, build my audience, et cetera, market to them. So one of my time-saving marketing strategies for my content creation is to batch my content. I've talked about this before. I do a lot of content batching. So this first set of inserts I'm going to show you is all about how I actually come up with a ton of different content for all of my platforms. So this is the exact process I use to come up with lots of content at one time. The strategy here for me is that I focus first on my content keywords. You're going to see on this insert here, we've got like on each page, and I hope you guys understand that these are like spreads I'm showing you, like the left and the right side of the page, just to kind of give you context like you're looking at a planner, right? So at the top of each column, there's 3 columns per page. There's a box. In that box, I will enter a keyword, search term, or a category that I use to attract my audience that refers back to like my business, my brand, and vision, right? So for example, what I might do with this is I might write planning on one. I might put productivity in another. I might put online business in one, right? I might create a category for time management, right? Journaling, right? Energy, high vibe, right? How to keep your vibe high, right? So I will use terms, keywords, search terms. And you guys, I know if this is new to you, I know I have to do like a whole I need to do like a whole video or blog post on the idea of using keywords for your content, because that is how you attract your audience to you, is at creating content that is valuable to your audience. And you do that through strategic keyword use, right? For blog posts, YouTube videos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I will take a content search term or keyword, right, and put it at the top of the column. And then you guys may be familiar for this before. I've talked about this before. I will evaluate that term in terms of creating 5 different types of content related to that term. So those content categories, right, and I don't want to get confused with the keyword categories, right? The content categories here are to educate, right? So what can I teach my audience about something that has to do with that brand or business keyword, right? Entertainment, right? How can I show them something funny or entertaining or relatable about that search term? How can I inspire them with that search term, right? Can I give them a message to uplift them? Is there something I can show them that will be inspirational, motivational for them under that search term? Inform, right? So can I show them something like the behind the scenes of my what goes into my brand or my business, right? Can I give them resources or tools or things like that? Like, here, this is something that you can use to help with your planning, to help with your productivity, to help with your business, etc., right? Interact. How can I engage with them, right? Ask them questions that pertain to that category or that keyword. How can I build my community or, sell to them directly, right? How can I be interacting with my audience one-on-one with that keyword, right? So I will take, again, we're just mapping out here. It's kind of like just like an easy grid. Keyword that I want to use, and then I will start writing out content ideas, right? So usually when I do this, it'll be like something like a title or a subject line of a piece of content, but it also could just be like a general idea if I don't have like a full title that comes to mind, right? So let's just say in that first column, it's, oh, here, let me pull up. I have some, I can just read some off to you. Make it easier. Where are you? Where are you, friends? Here you are. Here you are. Okay. So here on this one, I actually have filled this out. I'm starting to fill this out for April. So you can see that there's like month abbreviations up at the top. What I do with this is I take my little highlighter, my little Tombow highlighter thingy, and I will highlight the month that I'm creating content for. You could also do it for the different months, right? If you're going to plan, if you plan like a month, a quarter of content at a time, whatever you do, right? I plan a month because in this grid, it creates, if I just put one title, but usually I'll put like at least two in most of these boxes, it'll come up with like at least 15 pieces of content, and I put like 15 blog posts up in a month, right? So I like to do this for a month, but you could do it for as long as you need, right? So I highlight the month that I'm in, and then for this one that I have, because I told you before, my focus for April was going to be the CEO strategy planner, right? So I'm focused on business planning advice for my audience, right? So I have business planning is actually in one of the columns, business strategy, and business productivity, right? So that would be like time management things, right? That I would share about business stuff, right? And then for each, I'm starting to fill out and populate this outline, right? So here under biz strategy, right? For under educate, keyword research. I already knew that was something I needed to do. I needed to show you guys, I need to teach you guys about keyword research, right? So that's something that's educating you in business strategy. That's an example of a piece of content that I want to create in April, right? Business productivity, educate, how to have a productive day as an entrepreneur, right? So I could write a blog post that has to do with that topic. Entertain. Business, under business strategy, I have business strategy podcasts I love, right? So maybe some podcasts that I love listening to for business strategy, right? That could be something entertaining that I could share with you guys. Under business productivity, under inspire, an office tour. I really want to give you guys like a little bit updated office tour. That would be something inspirational that have to do with like business productivity, sort of things. Under business productivity inform, I have must-have apps, right? Or an opt-in toolbox, right? So I could be sharing you guys a list of resources. Here are some apps that I recommend that you use for business productivity purposes, right? So those are some examples, and I hope that kind of gives you guys an idea of how I fill this out. But basically, I'm bulking my content process. I'm coming up with all these ideas, and all of the ideas are relating to keywords that I use in my content so that I'm always attracting the right audience to myself, right? So that's how I do the content brainstorm. Now, the next step in the batching process is to put together a planning outline, right? Like an outline of what I want to do content-wise for the month, and again, or the quarter. And again, starts off with me highlighting what month we're in, right? Highlighting the month or the quarter. Again, this is going to be dependent on how you do your business planning, how you do your content planning for your marketing. If you're someone like me who produces a lot of content, you may just want to do a month at a time, right? But if you only put out like one piece of content a week, then you could probably do this for a whole quarter on one sheet, right? So for this sheet, right, this is supposed to give me an overview of what I've got going on so that my content always points back to things that are relevant. There's nothing worse to me than when I kind of forget what I'm supposed to be focused on and I throw in a piece of content that really is just filler, and it's not really pointing back to the overall marketing plan that I'm supposed to be executing on to hit my objectives, right? So with this, have a space to look at your product. So what are you creating right? What are you focused on creating, or what are you focused on promoting, right? Because a lot of times, obviously right now, CEO strategy planner, promoting that. But if I was working on something else, I could be gearing up for a launch by sharing content that might pertain to that product eventually, right? So that would be like a strategy for list building that I might do, right? So what products am I working on? What products am I promoting in this month, in this period of time? Opt-ins. So where am I directing my audience? Like what am I telling them to do? Like how am I getting them onto my list, right? What are the opt-ins I want to be sharing in this period of time? Campaigns. Again, we haven't broken down a campaign yet, but what campaigns do I have going on for this period of time? Then the bulk, the 2/3 at the bottom of this insert, platforms and content. Now, this is a strategy that I use for my business planning. If you are an empire building student, you know that this is part of my marketing strategy. I focus on 3 platforms, right? And so what I'll do is on that little header, that blank header on the top of the columns, I will put in one of the names of the platforms that I create for. So for me, I create for my blog, I create for YouTube, and I create for Instagram, more or less, right? So those are the actual platforms I actively market through. I have a Twitter. Like sometimes I tweet, right? But it's not something I'm actively pursuing. I also have an email list, obviously, but for that, I don't create a weekly or a monthly newsletter. I have a funnel that actually is always running. So that's something that I kind of queue up. And actually, for the month of April, I have to write this down. I do need to queue up the next bulk of content for the rest of the year for myself. So, okay, we'll skip this. I'll write it down later. So for really the ones that I'm ongoing creating for, like ongoing basis, like on a month-to-month basis in real time creating content for, blog, YouTube, Instagram, right? So I would write those in each of the columns. And then I would take a look at that list, right, that I made of content. And I will say, okay, which of these titles would make really great blog posts, right? Which one would be best as written blog posts? Which ones would be great video, right? Obviously my office tour, that's gonna be a video, right? Like I don't need to do a blog post about that. A video would do great, right? Which one of these things could I share on Instagram, right? What could just be like an Instagram story post, right? What's something I can just really quickly, like maybe a list of podcasts, right? That would be great for Instagram, right? Because I don't really need to write a whole blog post about it. I just want to share the information with you guys, right? As quickly and efficiently as possible. Now, this is what we do. We take that information, those content ideas, and we're gonna map them out in our platforms. And this helps us to create variable content across our platforms, which increases engagement from our audience, because what we're doing is we're telling our audience, like, look, I don't just put everything on my blog, right? If you want to see something special in video, you got to go to YouTube. If you want to, get some really quick tips from me, you got to go to Instagram. And it's a way for you to grow your audience overall. More likely an audience member who's following you on more than one platform is going to be more eager to purchase from you. And, that is going to help with your marketing, your sales, etc., and your business growth, right? So that is how we use this content planner for the month or quarter, however it works for you, depending on the amount of content you produce. Next, let me get some more. Let's get some water in here. Content outline. Okay, so obviously once I know exactly what pieces of content I'm making and which platform I'm putting them on, I want to outline them a little bit. Now, because I'm a creative entrepreneur and I work online and all of this work I do is digital, right? I always struggle because, yes, when I write a blog post, I'm not writing it out by hand in my planner, right? I'm going to my computer, I'm pulling up my Apple Notes, I'm writing the outline that way. I'm writing the outlines for a workshop or a class or whatnot, or a video on the computer first, right? That's where it goes, and then it gets put onto the actual platform, right? But I still need, right, in the basic outline, right, like a worksheet for me to focus on, where I can make sure that I'm capturing all of the ideas and information I have before I actually go ahead and write the content. Because it's very common for me, unfortunately. It's kind of embarrassing for me to actually admit that sometimes I'll write content and then have to go back to it and like edit it, because I'm like, oh darn, you totally forgot that you wanted to add this opt-in into this blog post, right? So I have this basically bulk outlining insert so that you can, on each page, 3 different pieces of content at one time, right? So you'll put in the title or the subject of the email, whatever, you're writing for, the date that it's going to be published, The first box you see is CTA. That stands for call to action. A call to action means, what are you directing your audience to do in this content? You telling them to buy something? You telling them to follow you on Instagram? You telling them to sign up for an opt-in? What is the call to action? What action do you want them to take after reading that content, watching the content, viewing that content, etc.? Okay, very important. Opt-ins. Is there an opt-in that can be paired with this content for list building purposes, right? Like, again, this is for me on my blog. It's like, I always forget how I have so many opt-ins and I can just easily insert them into popular content so that people can get on my list. It gives them an opportunity to get on my list, but they're not going to be able to get on my list if I don't capture them at the point that I have their attention inside of the blog post or inside of the video, right? So we have the opt-in idea of like what opt-in I might want to put there. Media. So what media is this going to be? Is this going to be a blog post? Is this going to be a video? And if so, if it's a blog post, do I need to have some photographs, right? Do I need to take some photos or graphics that I need to add in there? What media do I need to put together for this? And then key points, like what's a basic bulleted outline of things that I wanted to remember to say, right? Sometimes before I write something, I'll have a few ideas, especially when I'm doing that content brainstorm. I will, I'll think of the title. I'll be like, oh yeah, I can talk about this, this, and this. Great. I can come to this outline and I can write the title down and say, you want to talk about this, this, and this, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to be a complete outline of what I'm going to say, but when I go to actually bulk write my blog post or bulk outline my YouTube videos, right, in bulk film, do that batching of content, I have all of the important information in one place in my planner, right? I've gotten it out of my head, I've got it onto paper, and I can get down to business creating, right? So that is the purpose of this process here, right? Now, trackers. Of course, we want to make sure that we are tracking our content creation, right? So this is another one of the ones that's really, should be pretty self-explanatory. Instead of having a content tracker for every different type, right? So what I've done is on the top, you can see there's all different platforms that you might be creating content for, right? And what I do, handy dandy highlighter, and I highlight the one that page relates to, and then I will list out those titles, right, from that project plan, that monthly plan that I did for that platform, and I will be able to track if the message has been written for it, if I've got the media done for it, any photos, videos, etc., if it's been scheduled to go live, and then very importantly, something again I very often forget about with great content, have I promoted it, right? So it's one thing to go ahead and post a video to YouTube, but I need to like tell the other platforms like, hey, Instagram, I put this video up, right? Or hey, Instagram, I put this blog post up, right? We want to share it, right? And for me as well, another place that I very commonly share my stuff is Pinterest, right? It's part of my workflow to once a piece of content goes live, I then transfer it over to its appropriate Pinterest board, because Pinterest is a great traffic driver for creative business owners, if you didn't know. So this pretty self-explanatory. We're tracking our progress, what we've got done, and kind of gets all of, it just ticks all the boxes, right? For your content creation, no matter what content you're building. Finally, we get to the campaign builder, right? So this one's fun, right? Because I love me a good campaign. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, campaign is just like a general marketing term. It's like short for marketing campaign, right? Creating a marketing campaign. So a marketing campaign, what that is an organized marketing effort towards a specific objective, okay? So it could be something like a launch. It could be something like a promotion. It could be something like a sale. It could be something like a messaging push, right? Or you're promoting content or a platform. You can do campaigns to do anything, right? You could do a campaign and the goal is to grow your list, right? And what you're just doing is creating content and talking about getting on your list or talking about an opt-in that you've got, right? And you're just sharing about it for a specific period of time. And you might put together like a whole marketing plan for that outcome. That's all a campaign is, right? So this is my outline for creating my campaigns. Hopefully I'm still in, yeah, you guys can see me. Okay, I just want to make sure I've got my little circle there. I can barely see myself. So creating the marketing campaign. First thing, name it. Name your campaign, what it is. What are you doing? Right now, we know what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the CEO strategy planner. Is mine in here or did I move it to the other thing? I may have. Oh, here it is, it's over here. CEO strategy, look at mine. I got my campaign here for what I'm working on right now, right? So CEO strategy planner launch. That's what we're working on, right? What is my objective, right? I want to sell some planners. How many planners do I want to sell, right? You want to write down what you're trying to accomplish. Again, it doesn't have to be a sales goal necessarily. It could be, I want to grow my list 1,000. I want to grow my Instagram to 10,000. Like, what is this objective you have, and what is the defined period of time that you're going to be focused against this, right? Which means it's going to be the thing that you're like talking about 24/7, basically. What are the key messaging points that you want to remember that you're reiterating over and over and over over again. So for example, for me in this launch, right? Get it out of your head and get down to business, right? So you can get down to business. That is one of the phrases you're going to hear me say a lot about this CEO strategy planner, because this is like the message I have about this. Get it out of your head, onto paper, get down to business. That's the purpose of this planner, right? Another thing you might hear me talk about are like the bonuses that are going along with it, right? There are a lot of bonuses. Another thing that I've got, and I'll show you guys all that stuff later. You don't have to worry about it right now. But cool stuff, right? Cool extra things that come from buying the product, right? The limited time offer. I've got a limited time offer that is for the purposes of this launch, an introductory price. So you hear me talk about that, right? I'm going to make sure that everything I talk about is going to have that in there. Another phrase you're going to hear me talk about with this is the ultimate business planner, right? The ultimate business planning tool. That is another phrase that I'm using for this messaging that you're just going to see me like plaster everywhere, right? And that's in order to create consistency with your messaging within a campaign, right? Because all those things are helping me to spread the message so that I hit my goal of selling the planner, right? So that I'm not talking about a million different ways. I'm speaking in a few different, straight to the point messages so that people get that in their head, so they understand what I'm trying to share with them, right? So then we've got our start and end date. We talked about this exact timing. When are you starting? When are you ending? A campaign is not just something that you're just doing ongoing, right? Yeah, we do ongoing marketing all the time, right? And that's one of the reasons I write my blog posts and things like that. But a lot of times my blog posts have to do with a campaign that I'm working on, right? That's what that whole monthly planning overview had to do with. I have a spot where I'm talking about the campaigns that I need to keep in mind, and what my objective is with that campaign is ultimately going to go hand in hand with the type of content I'm going to create during that period of time as well, right? Very helpful. You would never see me like this week during this launch talk about a recipe right now. You know what I mean? It would just be off the messaging for the campaign, if that helps to kind of give you a little bit of example. Bottom half of this insert, one of my favorite things here is to track the assets. Now, assets is a term that is commonly used in marketing about like actual things that you can create that then become leverage for you to use in lots of different ways for your marketing campaign. So I break this down into a couple of different categories. Copy, writing, like the actual written things that you need to write. So sales descriptions, product descriptions, blog posts, an outline for YouTube, an Instagram post, etc. All of that copy. Basically, when I went to do this launch, I wrote a whole big bunch of copy, all the things I could think of, right? And I've been pulling parts of it to put everywhere. So that copy is very important. It becomes valuable to me because it's going to save me time in the future. I don't have to keep rewriting and rewriting things. It is actually, something that I can use multiple different places. And again, it's going to reiterate those messaging points that are part of the launch. Photos, right? Photos, graphics, what pictures do I need to do? Do I have to create custom graphics? Of course, I did all that sort of stuff for the product listing and all that stuff. And I'll also be taking more photos throughout this whole process, sharing on Instagram stories, right? Sharing things, putting them in blog posts, etc. Videos. Do I need to create new videos, right? Not just for YouTube. Think of Instagram as well, right? Instagram TV or Instagram Lives, any sort of video things. Even this right now is on here. Live business planning workshop. Okay, I didn't check it off. Check. Oh, I also did the IGTV. Oh no, I didn't put it on IGTV yet. Okay, that's something else. Okay, I did the story yesterday. It'll go on IGTV later. And then other, right? So there's always extra little things, right? So I had to do an opt-in page. I'm going to pull together a sales page and like the shop listing. That's where I'm pulling a lot of these different assets and putting them together into something, that is going to be an asset for this launch. The bottom, very important. The metrics. Now, again, this goes back to the effectiveness, what those 20% things are that gives the 80% results. What are the metrics that you're going to be using to measure the success or progress of this campaign, right? So because this is a sales campaign, number one is the amount of things that I want to sell, right? So I will write that down, sales, what my target is, and then what my actual is at the end of this, and then I can come up with a percentage of how successful I was, right? Another metric I might use is like email opens, right? Or the amount of people that watch a video or something like that, right? What are the metrics I'm going to use to track the success of this campaign, right? So whatever your campaign is, like even if it's not selling something, if it's just getting messaging out there, right? If it's just growing your list, right? These are the sorts of things that you're going to want to think about so that you understand what's giving you your best results, right? The final part of this, the broadcast tracker, it's like the back of the insert for me. Jeez Louise, during any campaign you do, you are going to be sending out a lot of messages, right? If you are like me and you have 3 or more platforms that you like to share on, there's a lot of stuff to post, to publish, a lot of things broadcasted from your business, right? So we have an entire list, right, of everything I need to create and when I'm posting it, etc. So it's the date that it's going out, the platform that it applies to, and like the general message that we're talking about, and checking off whether I did it, right? Like I have all these things that I'm keeping in a list and checking them off one by one as I do them, right? That is how I put together a marketing campaign for my business to hit certain business objectives. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. This little section. Okay, what time are we at here? How long have we been talking for? An hour and 19 minutes. Of course, it is going to be long. Okay, no one said it was going to be short. I warned you. Okay, final section of the business planning process: financial planning. This should be easy. It's going to be very. You'll see. This is self-explanatory. So annual P&L, profit loss. Okay, this is the big picture overview of your business profitability. So that's the insert on the left where it literally breaks it. It's a horizontal insert. So it breaks it down by month and then the totals at the bottom. You can say what all your income total was, all the total income, all your total expenses, wages, all the things you had to do for projects or bills or whatnot. And then your profit loss. That did you make money that month? Did you lose money that month? What was the profitability, right? Very important for the overview. Then you've got a yearly overview page, which is where you're going to track your overall income and expenses, right? This is great for tax season, especially for someone like me, right? I have multiple income sources, right? And I have to make sure I keep track of all of those because I have to enter them in one by one into my tax income information, right? And same thing with my expenses, categories of expenses, what the anticipated was for myself, that's great for business planning, but then what my actual was, great for tax time, right? Just makes it so much easier, right, to have this overview, right? Should be pretty self-explanatory. Bill trackers, pretty self-explanatory. Monthly bill tracker, right? This is perfect for bills that are variable every month, right? So if you've got like bills where you're not sure what the total is going to be, you have the due date of the bill, the description of it, the amount that it is, did you pay it, check it off, right? Yearly bill tracker, this is great for things when you've got like stable payments or it's like one service, like that you know that everything is going to, every month it's going to be the same amount. It's just like you tracking that you did it, right? Again, another horizontal insert. The bill when it's due each month, like maybe it's due the 12th of the month, the 1st of the month, 30th of the month, or whatever, the amount, and then check it off every month that you pay it. Self-explanatory. Income and expense tracker, right? I put these together because I like seeing my income and expenses together on one page, but if you want to, just use one for income, one for expenses, NBD, you guys. So this is how you're going to maximize your income, right? By keeping track of it, and minimize your expenses by knowing where you're spending your money, right? And what is actually worth spending your money on and what's not worth spending your money on, right? So it's a running list of your monthly income and expenses where you can put in your anticipated and actual figures. Anticipated is great for planning. Actual is great for running your real business, right? And looking at that profitability, right? And then the date the item hits your books, right? So pretty self-explanatory there. Savings tracker, right? So very important, especially look at this time that we're in right now. A lot of businesses are going to go under because they don't have enough money in savings, right? Set and track your savings goals for your business income. You can do it by month, the amount that you're going to save, the balance to your total, and how close you are to hitting your goal, whatever that savings goal is. And maybe what you're going to do is take that goal and you're going to invest in something afterwards, like once you've hit it, but you have this to track it. And then finally, donation tracker, committing to giving. There are a lot of businesses, including my own, that choose to support their favorite causes with portions of their income or general giving goals. And this is a place for you to kind of have that like overview of who you're giving to, how much, and what your goal is and how close you are to meeting that goal, right? Again, pretty self-explanatory. Let's just do a nice big exhale. That was a lot of information, right? Now I want to know what you guys are thinking. Let's go ahead. Let me know. We're going to do a little check-in. Tell me how you guys felt about this information. I know there was a lot. It was a lot. And I talked fast. And we'll have time for questions, I promise, before we get to this just like final section. But I want to check with you guys, okay? Mary Law said brilliant, but I think she said that a little bit ago. So I'm glad you think this is brilliant. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. I know there's a delay. So let's, and you guys, if you're liking this, thumbs up, thumbs up. There's a lot of you on here, and not all of you have thumbs this up yet. Give this video a thumbs up. It's very helpful for me, and you guys do that, Sitting here, spending hours of my time, putting this together, so much work has gone into this, So many tips and tricks and strategies are in here. I'm gonna tell you, I bet you guys were not expecting this today. Even when I said that it was business planning related, this is the problem. When I was looking for information like this, I couldn't find it. Nobody else is talking about these things in this way, like really. So I know it's a lot, but I want to give you guys as much value as possible, right? The least you can do is the thumbs up button. and sharing it too. That's cool. Oh, Mary said I just purchased and it's just what I needed. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Look, we haven't even gotten to the CEO planner yet. Like, we'll talk about it. But I want to see how you guys are feeling. So Valerie says she's enjoying this. Shopper Chick says thumbs up. Let me know. Oh, I just saw a whole flutter of thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Maria says, great, great. I'd love to hear what you guys are learning. Like, what's like, if, let me tell you, I'm sure some of you have had some multiple aha moments, but I would love to hear like what your big takeaway is at this point, you know, like what you love that I talked about. Valerie said so much info, but good. It was a lot, but great. I know, right? It'll be useful in other areas of your life. Yes, that's the thing. Some of these things you can actually apply other places as well, right? Jenny said so excited. It was a lot of info. I know it was a lot. Sam R loved it. Sam's a marine biologist. She's the smarty pants in my community. Linda says she really wants to rewatch this. Oh, now there's a whole bunch coming. A lot of helpful info. I know. Okay, you guys keep it coming. I want to hear all of your reactions, right? So let's just put it this way, right? Let's say right now you're like, wow, Alexis, that was so much. All this great information was so helpful and inspiring. However, may I repay you, right? If you're thinking this, like, oh, wow, she just gave me so much value. This is so going to help me. Wow, how do I ever begin to thank her for spending this time and sharing all of her process and just like spilling literally all my secrets? They're all on the floor, you guys. All my secrets are on the floor, all for you guys to take, right? If this is what you're thinking right now, I'm going to say like the next session is for you. And I absolutely love and adore you. Like you are my people. I love you. I'm doing this for you. I'm so committed to making sure that you guys have your businesses like on fleek, especially with what's going on in the world. You guys are who I want to be talking to and spending time with and serving very hardcore, at least for the next couple of months, right? Until we get into planner season and then we got to go do like planners again, right? So this is planning, but this is business planning, totally different. It's strategy. Whoa, right? Okay. So if you were blown away, if you're like so many nuggets of information, so many aha moments, okay? It's time for us to talk about the CEO Strategy Planner, my strategic business planning inserts, right? Now you've already seen them, right? This is a strategic business planner that consists of over 60 undated print-on-demand inserts. It is the ultimate business planning tool. You guys, please, I challenge you to tell me who else has this. Who else is sharing things like this? I have looked. I was willing to buy things. In fact, I regret to say this, but I have spent a lot of money buying different business planners, right? That like people are like, here, this. And I'm like, this is not what I want. This is fluff. I don't want to say like things are, bad necessarily because I do think that everything has its place, but it wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't what I needed. It wasn't being strategic. It wasn't helping me find the 20% of actions that were creating my 80% results. That was so important to me. Whenever I would look up business planning, it was always other things like a lot of strategy, which is great, right? But it's like, no, I need to know the process. I need to know how to do it start to finish, right? I needed an actual business planning tool, an actual business planner. This is designed for creative entrepreneurs, YouTubers, entrepreneurs, small business owners, bloggers, YouTubers, podcasters, and social media influencers. This is for people who create online. As you can see, a lot of this was about digital marketing. A lot of it, right? And especially us creative people, especially us in the planner community, so many of us love paper planners. Like, I love this. I have to use this, right, to talk to people and communicate, but I love this. This is what lights me up, writing things down in my planner and then transferring it to digital things. You guys, nothing is more cathartic. Nothing unleashes your creativity the way that taking pen to paper does. Like, you guys all know in this community, you wouldn't be here. You guys know this is how it is, right? So strategic business planner, over 60 undated print on demand inserts, ultimate business planning tool for any creatives online. Okay. With this tool, you're going to create a vision for your business and break that vision down into manageable steps. Okay. Point blank, it's going to happen. You're going to set clear objectives and outline plans that help you work more efficiently. And you're going to maximize your efforts by organizing and outlining content, campaigns, and messages. Oh my God, the time saving. Oh my God, let me tell you, I don't know. Let me tell you right now, I've been in a sprint for like the last 3 weeks with all of this. I don't know how I got all the work done like so quickly. And I know how I did. Technically, it was this thing that kept me on track. And so I was always focused. I always knew what the thing was. I always knew what I had to do on what day. It made it so easy, right? And I could take all this information and I could put it in my master planner, right? I could write the things down in my top 3, right? This is the perfect tool to go alongside any planning tools that you have, any of them. Any of your planning tools, if you're a digital planner, you are a physical planner, if you use a master planner, if you don't, if you use a happy planner, if you use an Eric Condren, if you use a day designer, if you use an Inkwell, I'm trying to think of all the names right now. If you use anything, you can use this planner with it. It's the perfect supplement, okay? And also, the CEO Strategy Planner is going to help you keep a close eye on all your financial targets to grow your income, shrink your expenses, and get direct visibility to your business's profitability. So important, right? Because if we're not running a profitable business, what are we doing? What are we doing, right? Okay, really quickly, I want to run down these inserts with you guys, right? Got some graphics. You've seen these. You've seen everything inside of the planner, right? Nothing has been hidden for you. I'm showing you everything. Literally all my secrets on the floor, okay? All of them. Pick them up, you guys. Business planning inserts. What do you get? You get the business plan divider. You get the executive summary, target market, the brand vision, the monthly objective overview, yearly business plan, quarterly business plan, the monthly business plan. We already saw all these inserts, right? Yeah. Business objectives, okay? You get the objectives divider, okay? Because I got everything. It's all organized in here too. You get like dividers and all fun stuff. The workflow, the project plan, the project budget, the project tracker. We saw all these things. Helpful. For your marketing plan, got that marketing plan divider, content brainstorm, the content planner, the content outline, content tracker, campaign builder, financial plan, financial planning inserts, the finances divider, the P&L, profit and loss, yearly financial overview, monthly bill tracker, the yearly bill tracker, the income and expense tracker, the savings tracker, the donation tracker. Whoo! How many inserts do you guys get in here, you guys? Seriously, so many inserts. Like, this is like a tremendous value. You cannot find these anywhere else. Bonus downloads, because I love giving you guys presents and, being fun and stuff like that, printable planner tabs. I knew this was going to be so important for people to have like a set of the planner tabs. And actually, here's my like default, like my example book, and I've got all of my tabs in there. It gives you all of the months, it gives you all of the quarters, it gives you all of the section names, plus a few bonuses, inbox, CEO strategy, so you could have the whole section in your planner if you're like me. There is a regular planner in here, my master planner. There is my business planner in here. I also have my High Vibe Bible inserts are in here, you guys. Oh, and my meal planner. Oh my God, I have all just in this, everything. So everything has a place. And a place for everything, right? And then there's some blank tabs just for you to, if you want to go ahead and just put like blank things to mark it off. I like blank tabs sometimes, and I'll show you what I did here. This is a blank tab. You're not going to see this very well. This is one of the blank tabs, and I like to put stickers on them, like little icon stickers. I think that's fun. So you guys have a couple of blanks just so you can fill them up, put stickers on them yourselves, right? So printable planner tabs, already in the bundle. CEO cover, that cover that says my favorite position is CEO. That's like the theme of this entire planner, right? You've got that cover, dashboard, however you want to use it. I have a set of inbox and outbox dividers in the bonuses as well, and monthly dividers. So those beautiful, like that scripted January through December, all of the dividers, so you can really organize this the way you want. The CEO desktop wallpaper. These are exclusive wallpapers just with people who purchase. My favorite position as CEO. That's what I'm using right now in my background. And the CEO smartphone wallpaper. It's also on my phone. Oh, my phone's down here. Okay, I got to keep that where it is. All these wallpapers themed, right? Inspirational, motivational, so many downloads. These are so many bonuses, like amazing, right? Let me just talk about some miscellaneous like facts here for you guys. This file prints half letter, A5, letter, and A4. You have detailed print instructions. Oh my God, this is like multiple pages of print instructions, so you guys can print this the way you want it. Half letter, A5, letter, A4. Let me just cut off right now. Someone's going to be like, but does it come in personal size? This is business planning, you guys. It's so important. We need more than just this little piece, right? So the smallest size is half letter, A5. You can blow it up to letter and A4. If you have a happy planner and you know how to blow up the inserts, right? I've got my buddy on here who's with me. She is using like another planner that's not half letter and not letter. It's maybe like 7x9. I forget what the size is, but she knows how to print the inserts that size. I don't know how to do it. You're taking your life into your own hands with that. Another piece of information I was asked, and I'm going to talk about some FAQs in a second, but some people asked me if this was enabled for a digital planner. I want it to be, right? As of right, I'm not someone who uses the digital PDF planners on like the tablets, right? I'm hoping that if you guys buy this, you're going to be able to use it, right? But if not, I want you guys to let me know, because I will edit it for you. I will make a second version and I will give it to you guys because I want it to be usable for digital. I think from what I've been told, it may be fine right now. If you're able to just open files and then like arrange things yourself, right? Is that how it works? I'm not sure because I don't personally use it, but I want it to be. So hopefully it will be. If not, let's work out the kinks right now so that we're good to go, right? Again, undated, so that you can use this year for year. You're only buying this once, right? This isn't like an annual planner. You have to rebuy, rebuy, rebuy. You're getting the full year's worth of inserts, undated. Things are obviously dated for the month, but everything is like no actual dates in them. So you'll be able to fill those things in. You'll be able to use this year after year after year. And it's print on demand, so you have all the inserts you need, right? And whenever you need them, right? You don't have to order refills, right? You don't have to wait for shipping. You buy it, you get it, you print it, you bind it, bada bing, bada boom, you have a business planner. You will achieve your goals this year and forever onwards. And like I already mentioned, it integrates nicely with the physical or digital planner of your choice, right? I still use my master planner, right? I still use all the sections, right? I still need it. But these are strategic business planning inserts that just make everything so much easier. And then all I got to do is transfer things over to my master planner. Do I end up having to duplicate work? Yeah, a little bit. But oh, geez, Louise, is it worth it? It's such a streamlined process. It's like I don't have to worry about anything because the process is like airtight. Okay. So I don't mind doing a little bit of duplication. Okay, you guys, I'm coming to the end here. We're going to go into the FAQ, but CEO Strategy Planner, download your copy today. There's a link in the description box. $49 limited introductory price. This price expires on April 2nd. That's it. After that, this goes up to the full retail price of $75 again. I was actually very hesitant to put this on sale because when I calculated all the ways that I use to calculate the price of a product told me that this product really should have been over $100, right? The amount of inserts you're getting, the amount of value, the built-in strategy, right? The airtight flow of this process, the fact that it's undated and you can use it year after year, like you're not coming back to get another one next year and next year and next year. The value is tremendous. The value is tremendous. Take advantage of this $49 limited time introductory price. Buy it now. Print it out today. Let's get going. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a ton of different content having to do with business planning over the next month and over the next several months. So I want you to be planning with me. I want these inserts in your planner. If you use, use a Filofax or ring bound, if you're like me and you're in a discs, right? Whatever you're using, if you just want to print them out as full page inserts and just do them that way, whatever you want to do, like this is like a must have for a business owner. And you guys know I never say things like that. Like I really don't. I just think this is like such a value, such a tremendous process. You guys need it. Like you need it if you run a business. There's no other option. You know what I mean? There is no other option out there that's like this. So sorry, talking it like it is, mic drop, okay? Highlighter drop. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead right now and let's see. What can I do here? I'm going to see if I can. Actually, I'm going to get out of this for a hot second. Wait, where's my, slides. No, format. No, that's not it. You're not it. You. I want to view. That's not it. You're not it. Sorry, you guys. I have to find where. Oh, that's the wrong thing. That's why. Scenes window, office. Woo, I'm back. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna change this in a second. I wanna actually go here. No, right here. And wait, can I click it? Can I click you? Oh no, I just go on there. That's it. How do I change this? Hold on. Sorry, I just want to change the way the scene is. Maybe not. Okay. Where am I? I should have thought of this better. Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll just go back to the office scene. Here we go. Me in my office. Okay, that's where we're gonna go back to. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did that hurt? Okay, your ears. I'm sorry if anyone was wearing headphones and that was like a scraping noise or something like that. Okay, so you guys give me your questions. This is what we'll do. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little. Yeah, here we go. Sorry. I always forget I gotta do it like that. Good. Okay. How's that? How's that, guys? I think that looks good. Okay. So let's go ahead and I will answer some questions for you guys. Okay. Savvy says, what's the difference between this planner and the other one? I forgot. Okay. So the master planner is a calendar. Ooh, is a calendar time management system, right? So this is the actually managing out your priorities for the day, we'll say. Okay. So we've got in here, let me just pull, just what you guys see. So we've got like the monthly overview for your month, the monthly calendar. You do have the monthly tasks, everything that you need to do, right? Which what I would do is I would transfer personal and business in here. You've got the tracker, right? And then you've got the weekly, right? Where you're actually managing your time every day, right? So the one thing that the business planner does not have, and I made this on purpose, was I wanted you to be able to use it with whatever planner you have, right? So whatever your daily, your weekly planner is, you can use it with it. It can work in conjunction, right? The master planner does also have some things that are teeny bit over like duplicating, right? There is the project plan section, right? With like a more traditional project plan outline. It's a little bit less business focused and a little bit more for everyone. But honestly, I've been using both. Like I had the campaign broken out on the campaign sheet, and then I was still using this normal project plan. You know what I mean? Like if I want to create that workflow, if I need that tool, I have it. If I want to break something down into phases or whatever, I mean, I broke my stuff down into phases here because this was before I even actually had that insert. So, I mean, I probably will start swapping out like a couple of my inserts. But the brain dump section, that's still an important part of a planning process for anyone, business, non-business, right? The brainstorm is still a general brainstorm for any solutions or way you want to outline your products or problems, or anything that you've got to plan. And so, and then the notes and things like that. So the master planner is more of the time management system, like how you're going to be approaching managing your days. The business planner is the strategy process of creating that summary, that vision, breaking it down to objectives, right? Like it's very detailed with all of those inserts, right? So that's the difference, right? So if you use the master planner and you run a business, you can still use the business planning inserts. It's going to supplement beautifully. There is a little bit of overlap, but then you choose what you want to use for your situation, right? If you don't use the master planner and you use someone else's planner that might not be as functional, geez Louise, this is going to be like a perfect little supplement for you for your business, right? Or if you're someone who really just uses a digital planner, right? You can, and you want to write things out. You want to get creative. You want to get tactile ideas out of your head onto paper, so much more creative that way. Then you've got the ability to do that. I hope that makes sense. Sorry, where did I go? How to download. So when you go to that link, which is in the description, CEO Strategy Planner, you're going to go to my shop. You will add it to cart. You will check out. And upon checkout, you will see that you're going to have access to downloads on my site that's going to show you like the download files. You're also going to be emailed an invoice looking thing. It's like, thank you for your order. And there's going to be downloads in that. It looks like an invoice. It actually has digital downloads, right? The links for each file. You download them, right? It just happens automatically when you click them, and then you print them out. Look at the print instructions. Really detailed. It's like several pages long of print instructions because I wanted to give you guys an ability to print this in a couple of different ways. So go ahead and take a look at that. Very helpful. Okay. Can I use this download a place like Staples? Absolutely, Edie. Absolutely. You may just want to like review with them the order that you're going to print the pages in, and you'll see this is all in the print instructions. Part of this book is something of the planner is something that you're going to probably print in a sequential order, and you're only going to need it once, right? You only need one of the target markets and the executive plan, like that business plan part. You only need one, and then you'll probably print out refills, like additional things for all of the rest of the pages, like as much as you feel like you need to get started, or refills as you go. So there are, again, print instructions are like really good. I've really broken things down, so you're going to want to be very clear with them how much to print, because this is not just a file that you print start to finish. This is really something where the file itself is like I think like 100 pages for just the the planner, then I've got the bonuses are in their own file. So you're not just going to print it start to finish. You're actually going to choose which pages you're going to be printing at one time, right? So just keep a note of that. It's all explained in the print instructions. But yes, you can take it to Staples, right, to get it printed, right? Sam said, in my opinion, it seems like this CEO planner is a lot more in depth than the master planner. Yes, the master. So this is the difference. One of those is a time management, everyday daily life planner. One of them is a strategic business planning process. It's not the same thing, right? Not everybody is going to need the CEO strategy planner, right? If you're someone who doesn't run a business, doesn't do things online, right? You would just use the master planner if you wanted to be functional with your planning. This is an added level of functionality with the inserts that are like worksheets that help you break down your plans in all different ways to help you have that strategic planning process. Okay. So yeah, totally, really are totally different things. What hole puncher do I have? I am in a disc bound. So I've got the arc disc bound punch. Let's see. Lexi says, just a great question. What if you have no plans to plan for your planner? Girlfriend, you got to learn about yourself, figure out what you want, create a vision for your life and go after it. If you don't run a business, the CEO strategy planner isn't for you, but geez Louise, you guys, I have so many things in my life that go into my planner. Like, go and explore, find out who you are on the inside, what you want to achieve in your life, and then you will find the vision for the plans that you have. If you don't have any plans, you probably have some things you can plan now, but you might just need to get in touch with yourself a little more right now. Everyone's at different stages, you know? Okay. Speaking your language, savvy. Excellent, excellent. Any other questions, you guys? Oh, you know what I should do? Wait a minute. Let me pull this up. I know I got a bunch of questions here in my, oh no, there it is. I asked on Instagram, so I might as well. I've addressed a few of them. I've like integrated it into this. The digital format, we talked about that. Oh, someone asked about, yeah, we talked about this too. The PDF. Let me see y'all. Actually, I feel like, I feel like I've answered all of these questions in here. So I'm not gonna, we don't need to go over it. I might just quickly answer some people on Instagram. But if you guys have questions, you guys have seen everything, right? At this point, you are like, you've seen it all. Tell me if there's something you're missing, right? I don't know what I don't know that I need to explain to you. Let me know, right? So hopefully you guys are right now over on the site. Silence could be golden. Go to the site, check out PayPal, right? Secure. I never see any of your payment information. This is a question I get a lot. I never see any of your payment information. And despite that fact, I still have like the top line of security on my shop. A lot of people ask me about that too. So PayPal, go forth, do that, check out. You will download all of your stuff, right? If you go to the page, the CEO Strategy Planner page, you're going to see I also have a video walkthrough in case you're like, what do these look like? Like these were just graphics on the screen. It's a video walkthrough, just set to music, just me paging through so you can see everything and what it looks like, right? So, Carla, yes, this is, oh, sorry, I missed the first part. Is this going to be bound? No, this is never going to be bound, likely never going to be bound. There's not a coupon code. There is an introductory offer, limited time offer of $49. That is the sale price. So there's no coupon code required. It already says $49. You'll see like it probably says 75 and that's like been crossed out or whatnot. So you don't have to add anything in. Just check out and you get the introductory price, right? And I have no plans at all. When I say that, being serious, I don't even know how, I don't think I'm going to, not with my business values right now. Like this isn't something I have any plans to turn into a bound book at all. It would be so hard to like even think about how many inserts to give you of different things. You know what I mean? Like it's not, this is inserts. This is print on demand. This is at your house. You can print stuff out. Most business owners have a printer, right? I just had to get a new printer. Right at the outbreak of coronavirus, 2 things broke. My desk chair was just shot and my printer died after 6 years. It was a really long run. It was good. It was doing good. So I had to get a new desk chair, you guys saw, and a new printer. Someone said, do you have explanations about some of the parts within the video and within a workbook? Okay, so some of this stuff, it's an empire building, right? It's an empire building, right? And that is, you can buy just the workbooks of empire building if you wanted to, or you could buy the full course, or you can buy the course with my, with like feedback from me, right? Like calls with me. So yeah, the entire strategy is an empire building, really, right? In the things that we talked about marketing wise, right? Those are in empire building, but it's not like a separate workbook. In fact, actually doing this, I had no clue how I was going to really explain all of this to you guys. I had at one point thought I was just going to do this class and like sell just the class, but I'm like, no, we can make this alive, have people come, have people see it. I just want this to be out there. You guys can use the process without the inserts. Yes, you're going to want the inserts, right? If you're doing it. But I've told you the process. You see everything. All of the strategy is out there for you guys to grab. It's whether or not you want the tool that goes along with it that makes the whole thing easier, all print on demand, all that stuff. Like how many times I say it? Print on demand, undated. Get it forever. You have it forever. It's yours. Oh, I love this. Hold on, let me add this to broadcast. Love this. Between this launch and the COVID lockdown, I feel like the universe is telling me just get rid of excuses and start the business I've been dreaming about. Yes. What are you waiting for? Life is short. You guys, like, what are you waiting for? Like, if you were like, oh, I don't know how to do it. Look, I just told you how to do it, right? I just told you how to do it. Like, go ahead and do it, right? And you'll figure it out. Baby steps. You'll figure it out. You guys, thumbs up on this. I'm so happy to see how many of you guys are on with me live. Like, this is nuts. More thumbs up, please. Love you guys. I cannot wait for the next, you guys. If you guys are a business owner, if you Hoku, stay tuned, okay? Stay tuned to YouTube, to my blog, Instagram, because we are going to be talking about business topics, and I'm really going to be trying to get nitty gritty with you guys on some strategy, some planning, and time management stuff for your productivity. Love it, love it, love it. Start your business. Do it. Do it. Okay. Vanessa says, totally off course. I actually was admiring your chair earlier. Where did you get it? It was a birthday present for me because it broke. But I have a link on Instagram in my highlight that says office. There's a direct link on Instagram. Go forth. Follow me on Instagram. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I got to figure this out. Right. Okay. Oh, here. Cheryl had asked a good question here. Why did I not see it here? Oh, no, it's up there. Good. Cheryl bought the CEO planner last night. Thank you very much. Welcome to our little club. You've enjoyed today's workshop. We have another session going through some of the inserts and the best way to use them. If you guys want me to, we could definitely do, and I was thinking about doing this as like an extra little bonus, right? I didn't want to like publicize it until I like saw how this worked out, but we can do like everyone who buys the planner, like during this, maybe the limited introductory, we can do another private call, just like a smaller call just for us. And we can like kind of get more into the nitty gritty, and maybe it can be more of like an overhead of me planning with you, or you can ask me like, Alexis, how would you plan this? You know, that sort of thing. So we can really work things out if you want to. And I could provide a few more examples. So we could definitely do that. Yeah. So we can absolutely do that. That's totally doable. Boop. Absolutely. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Carla says yes. I think that would be a great idea, right? To do something like a group thing. Okay. So let me look at my schedule after the launch is done, and we will come back to this and we will put something in the planning. And I'll have all of you guys' emails, so I'll be able to just directly message you guys. Oh, Cheryl just said I said the link to 6 of my friends. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Yeah, you guys share this. I don't know. Like, you guys tell me. Literally, I'm making this outline, this class the other day, and I'm like going through it, and I'm like, is this good information? Like, I don't know what you guys don't know, and that's always been my problem. I kind of like live in like my own little version of reality, and sometimes, like many people, I just assume that everybody knows what I know, and so for me, sometimes I'm like looking at this, and I'm like, was this going to be valuable for people? Are people going to be bored? Like, do people already know this? Like, are people like even at this level? Like, is this like something that like is going to be helpful for people? I have no clue. Like, I actually thought this might be a little boring, this class. I'm glad it wasn't. You know, it was one of the reasons I'm like literally beta brain stated out on caffeine right now. So yeah, you guys share this. The other thing is too, I would love, 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 love testimonials to be able to add to my sales page for this, because if this is valuable, I think it's awesome. And just like a little preview for you guys, you know, I want to start with this, but I was also thinking that if this did well, right, and you guys were interested, I could create additional like mini packets of inserts for like maybe a specific platform, like an Instagram, a perfect like Instagram strategy. As it stands, these inserts you could use for any platforms online, anything. Like literally, I've worked through things. Like I talked to people who are podcasters because I don't podcast, and I'm like, would this be helpful for you? And they were like, yes, that's good. That's a good little outline. I'm like, excellent. Okay, good. So I've worked through, you know, general things, but I was thinking like I could even go even more specific for you guys and like make you an Instagram packet. I could make you a blogging packet. You know what I mean? Like just like a little supplemental like bump. You know what I mean? Like just extra inserts. You guys have to tell me what you want, what you need, right? I'm here. I'm here to make stuff for you. I'm here to help you guys manage your time, energy, and expectations. Get your ideas out of your head onto paper and get down to business. Don't you see? I've got my messaging up here, you guys. Messaging so important up here. The link, Victoria, is in the description of this video. And if you do not see it for whatever reason, you can type in to your web browser the bit.ly/CEO Strategy Planner. It has to be written exactly how that is. Or you can go over to thecharmshop.com and you can go there. You'll see it. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. Love it. Excellent. You guys, there's 111 people on live. 111. I love 111. Yeah, you guys will have to look this over again. Absolutely. Yeah, watch it at 1.5 times speed. Although I will say in some areas I'm talking really fast. You're going to end up having things that are like super duper fast with Alexis talking like this with like her New Jersey accent, like a hands wailing, right? Yeah, okay. So you guys, it is almost 4 o'clock. Been on for 2 hours. I'm actually impressed, really legit impressed. Buy your CEO strategy planner. Share this link for this video and the product with your friends. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your reviews. If you guys try this digitally, contact me. Let me know how I can make it better so that you guys have a better digital experience. I'm still not on, I don't do it. So I don't know I don't know what you need. You know what I mean? Like I haven't worked this out, but I would love to help you. I would love to put that digital, maybe an optimized file or whatever you guys need in there. So let me know. I'm here for you. I will get in touch with you guys who buy during this pricing thing. And remember, it ends on by the time the 3rd comes along, it's over. Midnight Eastern time on the 2nd, right? So I just wanted you guys to have that. Then it goes up to $75. Still, if you're watching this in the future, still an amazing, amazing deal for over 60 printable, undated inserts. Nuts. Crazy. It's a one-time buy, guys. Perfect for any business online, okay? So I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Make sure you thumbs this up, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe and healthy, you guys. Love you all. Bye-bye, guys.